plot twist straight out of a political thriller. Rigathi Gachagua has become the first deputy president in Kenya's history to be impeached.
Big breaking news.
The ayes, 281.
Firing the DP after 766 days in office.
The impeached deputy has challenged his impeachment in court, setting off a murky legal battle. This jaw-dropping development casts a dramatic shadow over the turbulent legacy of Kenya's vice presidency. Like a soap opera, where the plot thickens just when you thought it couldn't get juicier.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker.
But what led to this shocking moment? How did Gachagua go from second in command to the history books as Kenya's first impeached deputy president? And how does this reflect on Kenya's deputy presidency, a role historically marked by turbulence? At the heart of Gachagua's impeachment are some pretty serious accusations of gross misconduct and abuse of office.
He took up a role as though he was a co-president.
This is a man elected by 7.2 million Kenyans. How dare you?
The only reason the deputy president names appears in the ballot, it is to ensure that he's protected by law, that the president cannot fire him.
Gachagua had initially been Ruto's #1 fan, but suddenly the political tides shifted, revealing just how precarious the vice presidency can be in the murky waters of Kenyan politics.
Supposing that you get elected in August, and somewhere down the road, 2 years, 3 years, you have a problem with your deputy. What are you going to do?
What you have said will never happen. I will not allow, for example, my running mate or my deputy president to be humiliated by junior staff.
President Ruto tried to sort of create a little corner for his deputy then, Rigathi, by issuing the executive order that gave him an assignment.
Gachagua refused to actually exercise restraint. He refused to be submissive. He refused to actually work with government. He refused to use the apparatus provided for him to raise his concerns.
Hii serikali ni kampuni na ni ya shares. We have a dysfunctional National Intelligence Service. President William Ruto and I were the darling of the Kenyan people. Where did we stop listening to the people?
This is like a marriage. Clearly, their relationship has been tainted.
Since independence, Kenya's deputies have been caught in a high-stakes game where friendships fracture and political careers implode, like trying to navigate a maze where the exit keeps shifting.
It is always the prayer of any deputy president to become president. And presidents always worry that should anything happen to me, this person is going to be the president.
Take Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president, initially instrumental in Jomo Kenyatta's ascent to power. Odinga saw his ministerial portfolio gradually reduced by Kenyatta, who further undermined his authority by replacing him as vice president of the ruling Kenya African National Union, KANU, in 1966. Similarly, Joseph Murumbi's vice presidency was short-lived. Although the official reason for his resignation was ill health, it is widely believed he was troubled by the corruption and authoritarianism within the Kenyatta regime. Known for his principled stand and progressive ideas, Murumbi lasted about only a year before stepping down. Sounds like the classic "I can't even" moment that we all have when reality hits really hard. After Murumbi resigned, Daniel Arap Moi, an outsider to the Kikuyu elite, became vice president in 1967. Moi's tenure as vice president wasn't smooth. He faced strong opposition from the Kiambu political elite, who viewed him as too weak to lead and sought to prevent him from succeeding Kenyatta. But when Kenyatta died in 1978, Moi defied the odds and became Kenya's second president. Fast forward to the multi-party era, when President Moi appointed Mwai Kibaki as his first deputy. However, Kibaki was dropped after a decade and went on to form an opposition party. Moi's second vice president, Josephat Karanja, resigned after just a year to avoid a vote of no confidence for allegedly plotting to overthrow the government. Moi's third vice president, George Saitoti, was sidelined in favor of Uhuru Kenyatta's nomination as the party flag bearer in 2002, while his final vice president, Musalia Mudavadi, fell with the rest of the KANU government in the 2002 elections after just 60 days. Mwai Kibaki, Kenya's third president, also had a revolving door of deputies. His vice president, Michael Wamalwa, sadly passed away shortly after taking office. His second vice president, Mudi Awori, faced an uphill battle influencing the government and ultimately lost his seat in 2007. Kibaki's third vice president, Kalonzo Musyoka, struggled to reach the presidency despite his many attempts. Kenya's fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta, was the only president to have the same deputy, William Ruto, for his full term from 2013 to 2022. However, relations between Kenyatta and Ruto were hardly rosy.
But William Ruto started receiving the heat in the first term of their presidency with Uhuru Kenyatta. But this guy was consistent in his patience. He was consistent in his waiting. And I think he never allowed himself to go ahead of time.
And then there's Rigathi Gachagua, whose impeachment not only marks a historic first, but exposes the volatile Game of Thrones that has long defined Kenya's deputy presidency. At the heart of Gachagua's impeachment lies a broader question. What is the value of the deputy presidency in Kenya's political landscape?
The framers of the Constitution made sure that there are no two centers of power.
He's merely the personal assistant to the president.
Basically, this is a fair trial, and that is all there is to this particular position.
As the impeachment saga unfolds, Kenyans will be watching closely the ongoing story of Kenya's tumultuous relationship with the office of the deputy president. Will Kenya's next deputy president break the curse, or will history repeat itself?